All right. This is like my fourth time recording this, so I'm going to try to get through this faster because last time I did this, it was like an hour long. All right. So we won in draft. Clefable should have gone follow me instead of gravity this game. I told him to go gravity because I wanted to counter the Trevenant Machamp, and he didn't have a lot of experience on follow me, but he still should have played it. We were hoping that they would play Mimikyu or Buzzwole, and they played neither. I don't remember the exact draft order of this. The recording of this doesn't show the draft phase, but we banned Mimikyu and they banned Hoopa. Hoopa is a really strong control tool and positioning tool, and we have a green badge Hoopa, which definitely scared them a little bit. All right, let's make sure that's quiet. All right, so this is all pretty basic early game. Let's see. Where are some weird moments in this early game that I remember? It was right here. Yeah, it was right here. So here he pushes them back, ejects, and scores a 14 for his first stack. Not worth it in my opinion. Also, he's running Cursed Incense this game. Or no, I think they are. Yeah, because he's getting the Cursed Incense effect, which is smart because we're running a healer. And it's an area of effect healer, and they have a Glaceon. Glaceon was a huge problem for us in this game. More stacks. That's his second one. I think our Clefable is also stacking. They should have left this fight a while ago. You can see Clefable caught on to really bad pathing here. Like what he should have done is gone through this walkway and just followed the Clefable. And he could have gotten away very easily. And he can't position for middle bees at 8 minutes, middle birds. He can't position for those at 8 minutes because he's a low HP. But Umbreon positions on their side so he can keep the Decidueye back, and then I just shred the middle birds, and then we kill the Decidueye. Yeah. This is all like a lot of micro stuff. Let's see. Rotates down. Yeah, okay. That might be in another one. My buffs are up, but I'm already level 9, and my buffs are still here. I don't know how I got a kill on the Decidueye here, because you can see his HP is perfectly fine at this moment, and it just disappears. So you can see they kind of have this strategy where they have their high DPS guys down here, just zoning us out as their Glaceon and Trevenant kind of shred top. Like Glaceon shreds it, and they use Trevenant to zone us away if we try to push top, which is really smart. High DPS guys in bottom just keeps us away, and we can't really push them because bot lane is slightly bigger than top lane. That's why most attackers go down there, which was a weak point for us because I am like our only attacker main, and I also have some of the best jungling, so we couldn't always send an attacker bot. And I'm also like one of the best Dragapults, and Dragapult is so broken that we needed to play it whenever we could. So much damage. Yeah, so they just ripped it behind us while keeping us zoned with their high DPS dealers. All they needed was an attacker. We're a very like dive heavy team, but we don't have a lot of unstoppables. We need like Blastoise to go in there with a Surf so that Zacian can charge in, so that Umbreon can charge in, so that I can attack them from range and we won't get pushed away and they won't escape. I'm like Blastoise. There's a lot on Blastoise's shoulders for team fights, and he's more experienced with Rapid Spin Blastoise, because that's kind of his carry build. Great Surf. Here, when they are on their speed flux zone, like when they're getting movement speed, you don't want to try skill shots like Hydro Pump. It doesn't work out because they're just moving too fast. Ejected for the berry and missed it. I die here because of all the Ardo targets. Yeah, they shred that in literally 5 seconds. I timed it. They shred it in like 5 seconds. I honestly think he shouldn't have done that. Like, I know it's a lot of damage, but a surf into that whole team when the only backup is a Dragapult that has to retreat because he's almost at half. Against all these high DPS dealers, he can't be there. And Zacian should definitely not be down here with Candle because the most Chandelure can do here is score maybe 15 points. That's the most like bottom farm can even give you. So it's much more valuable to farm for kills up here, gather points for Zacian, than to be solo fighting a Chandelure, especially on his goal zone. When it's very hard to charge him and he can just chip your HP. Here, this is also a pretty important moment. So right here, I was going to try to quiz you, but he should go bottom. I mean, the timer is at 14 seconds. Dragapult and Umbreon, with no enemies in sight, can perfectly handle this line. Umbreon can easily isolate the Regieleki and stop it from getting in the goal, and then Dragapult can rip it. He does accidentally go top, and I immediately correct him on that and tell him to go bot. And then I start heading there too, as Umbreon finishes it off. Since I need to be down there to pick up kills, they immediately charge in. I immediately took so much damage. Like, you can see my HP. I grabbed both berries. Our Zacian died. Zacian was not that great for these games. He should have been top lane, and we should have had an attacker bot. But the problem is we don't have a good attacker player other than me. I mean, we don't have an attacker main. Oh my god, you can see all that damage coming out from them. And it's like, look at that. He can't land a Sacred Sword because they're all so zoned out, and then he just gets hit. And a Pokemon like Urshifu, if Urshifu wasn't nerfed, would have been amazing for our team. And our Umbreon player was great at Urshifu. So we could have had our Blastoise player playing Umbreon instead, and then had our Umbreon player playing Urshifu. But after the nerfs, it was never worth it. All right. Here, this is a pretty interesting move. They see us. They're all in this bush, right? You can see Glaceon, Machamp, Trevenant, and Decidueye were all in this bush. And they saw us walk into this bush right here. So right at this moment, they can see us walk into this bush. And they see Blastoise right here. And they're about to pounce on him. But I don't think it registers for them that we walked into this bush and Decidueye backed right into us. So we immediately hopped on Decidueye, picked up that kill for a lot of comeback XP. Great Unite. Got the Candle ult from behind us. Just start picking up KOs. Here, I probably should have targeted the Glaceon. This was a tough moment because my attacks were already on the Candle, and once he locked on with those auto attacks, there was nothing I could do to survive. And then he also kills our Umbreon, and then we just abandon that fight. And we are playing on a kill cooldowns here. Like once it hits like 10 or 5 seconds before Ray, we have people on kill cooldowns. I just revived, so I'm gonna be like hopping in, and Umbreon won't even be there. So I immediately went for farm and then realized how close it was to Ray. So I immediately corrected that and then went to mid. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've reviewed this part so many times, but it is a very important part. Machamp jumps in. If he had landed this, we would have lost the game for sure. If he had like actually landed it on the Clefable and the Umbreon and taken out our strong support like kind of Pokemon, he would have won the game. And if he had done a little bit more damage to Blastoise, he would have won. Decidueye ult was a great play. Like they had great positioning here. They had their high DPS guys back here, and then Machamp charged in with his Unite to try to push us all back. It was just a very strong play from them. Sorry if you saw the notification. But the So the Trevenant like can keep us back. Machamp can keep us back with his Unite move, except he missed it. Zacian should not have backed here. So he's at like half HP. He walks over to their side and then backs to our goal zone, which means he is literally useless for the rest of his fight because they have such high DPS. I killed a Glaceon, which was a super important part. If I didn't kill that, we would have lost. And I then secured it. I don't know if it was because of his stun that I secured it, like because of the Blastoise stun, or if it's like even if he wasn't there, I would have secured it. But still good that they were there in general. Um, so here you think he has a large Rayquaza shield, but once that ult shield wears off, you can see his shield is incredibly low. And you can see Zacian's shield is perfectly fine. Same with the Clefable's. So what should have happened here is Blastoise should have scored. Zacian definitely should not have used his eject button. What should have happened is just Blastoise scores his 50 because he's got a lower shield. Because they're going to charge and he'll like all the kill cooldowns are low. He can't get to that central goal zone if he doesn't score here. Zacian could. Yeah, so he misses those goals. His shield immediately disappears, and he does not recognize the kill cooldowns. And then he has 4 people pounce on him, and he dies. Here, I shouldn't have jump padded top. I was expecting a push from top since most of the time they go to this goal zone to see if anyone's going to try to score because it's their most vulnerable goal zone. They don't, so then they walk over. But instead, since their last fight was here against Blastoise and Clefable, they pushed bottom. And I saw the Glaceon pop up, and then I saw them all pop up, and that's when I started to head down. We got the Decidueye ult chipped into our Zacian and our Umbreon. I started doing area damage, but it wasn't enough to stop one of their goals, or 2 of them, 64 and a 46, which is a perfect overcap. Our goal was on 100. They perfectly overcapped our goal there. Not overcapped. They perfectly broke it. Here's pretty interesting. Good surf, like great surf. Saved our asses. Here pisses me off. Existence walks up. You know what he should have done? He should have just done a basic attack, right? Instead, he drops a gravity and then does a basic attack. He probably wouldn't have scored it because it was a pretty fresh cooldown, but it still terrified me. So yeah, we won that game. You can see the difference in kills. Like they're a much more aggressive team. We're much more passive. We kind of wait for them to make a move so that we can react. They took the initiative in almost every game. All right, those are the stats. You see our Discord call. So we kept first picking Umbreon because they had a player called Sorrow who played a lot of Umbreon. And that was their primary defender, it seemed like. We didn't know they played a lot of Trevenant. And we kept first picking Umbreon, but in retrospect, we should have... when we saw that Sorrow wasn't on their team, we shouldn't have been picking it. We banned Glaceon this game because Glaceon was a menace. This game, really rough, mid and early game, but really strong late game for us because of a crazy play we had. Pretty good picks for us. The only difference here is our support and our all-rounder. We sent our all-rounder bot again because Mimikyu has slightly more range with Shadow Sneak than Zacian does. He has more flexibility, more movement, which I like. And it's good for an all-rounder bot to have. Let's skip forward. There's just a bunch of early game here. No crazy things to call out. They just start hard losing here. There's a couple moments where Blastoise just charges in when he's all alone. Here he definitely should have ejected to the Blissey because he ejects down, gets called out by the Mewtwo and just dies. So yeah, there was several moments where they charged in when they did not need to, and that just gave top lane such a large XP lead, which is definitely something we worked on just overextending in general. Definitely should have basic attacked. When you're trying to block a goal, don't use a move to block it. Just basic attack. Here, pretty brutal Trevenant grab. Like, he just grabbed him right away. There's nothing you could do about that. Pretty sure they ripped top here, but they have much less people bot. I don't know what that was. But you can see all of our teammates are just on their goal. I'm just ripping it because I'm a Dragapult. Yeah, already ripped it. We already broke their goal zone. Umbreon already TP'd back. I think, yeah, we go through mid to get mid farm. And we have our Blastoise defend bot. Kind of position in a goal. In a bush, I mean. Yeah. Our Blissey got completely called out there. I don't know why he was all the way out there. Yeah, this is rough. So right here, he had vision of the Machamp chasing him. He had vision of the Mewtwo coming from top, and he saw the Inteleon. He misses the Surf, and after you use Surf, you can choose what direction you hop off on by using your joystick. He hopped into their team. That's a really bad play. If he had hopped over here, he could have, easily hit these two guys with a Hydro Pump. But he just immediately dies for it. Mimikyu makes a great call by not jumping in there. I just came out of my Phantom Force, tried to get some damage. Weird ult. I mean, it gets stuns here. Blissey should not be up here. But like it's hard because he was already up here just defending and farming. And our three of our players were already positioned down here. And we were like anticipating their move because we saw Blastoise getting ganged up on. Just takes a bunch of damage from the Chandelure. Chandelure is so underappreciated. He should have been running Flamethrower in my opinion, but he aims. Here's another thing. With Surf, I don't think you want to aim Surf that much, especially against somebody who can have a lot of movement just with their basic attacks like Mewtwo. You want to wait. You got to be patient with Surf. It's not just a move you can throw out. Yeah, insta death there. I understand the ult to dodge all the Trevenant stunts, but I mean he was so low. One basic attack was going to kill him. It was just kind of I don't know how it would have ended if he hadn't. So here we're positioned pretty well. Definitely should have surfed here. This is not something you should do as a defender, is walk away, because he walks away and leads him right to our team. And now he's just getting chipped and he has nowhere to go. Very bad situation to be in. Surprisingly, we still KO a couple of them. This was an interesting call. The fact that he jumped down and then looked is definitely not something you want to do. You want to look and then jump down. But he got it. And we got top 2 since we had Umbreon and Mimikyu pressuring them. Something we worked on a lot was, and this was kind of by accident, but was like 2-man and 3-man pushes. We got really good at pushing with just a couple people and knowing when to back up and knowing when to like push even more. And that made us really good at zoning with just 2 people or 3 people when our whole team couldn't be there. Good farming. I mean, this is fine. Like him farming down here is perfectly fine. We're pushing top, which is like risky on our part. It's the 335 mark, so any KOs that we take won't hurt us too much. And we do have our Blastoise level 10 now. He should have been looking at kill cooldowns because now they just hop on him. Great job waiting for the unstoppables to be done on Machamp. That's definitely something you want to look for when you're running stuns. Here, we're kind of retreating. Like, we have our Umbreon backing up, Blissey backing up. I can escape really easily with Phantom Force. Mimikyu does dive in here. That's the problem. Like, he shouldn't have dived in here. He had a pretty easy escape, but he dives in and doesn't realize that 4 of them are there and immediately gets deleted. And then our Blastoise goes in to try to help, gets pounced on, and Panic Unites. And honestly, could have killed. But did not. Because he didn't hit the Inteleon. And the Inteleon just autoed him. Now we're just back here farming. Pretty basic. We're not playing on cooldowns. We're all alive. We're all not trying to play aggressive or anything. This was the point that won us the game right here. We were losing like early game. It actually kind of evened out like closer to Ray. But right here, I told Umbreon, and this is something I like to do when I'm playing Defender, is just walk into the enemy's bushes. And when he does, he gets vision of their top bush, the bush that's right next to Ray, and their L bush down here. He like walks towards that bush, sees Inteleon and I think it's Mewtwo, and then walks down here and sees Machamp and I forget the other Pokemon. Chandelure was also up there. So he gets vision of all of them. And this gives us all the information we need. We know we can send Mimikyu to dash onto Inteleon and Chandelure, which is what he does. He dashes onto them. Inteleon actually dashes down into the bigger group in the L bush, which just gives me more splash damage because I am hiding. I'm on this wall, and all of their attacks are targeting our tank, Umbreon, who is stacking, I think, Aeos Cookie, and he's got Wish. So he's just healing, and there's like it's very hard to kill him. I'm just getting splash damage. You can see all the kills just popping up. Trevenant does escape here. Chandelure, I think he messed up his play rough on Chandelure initially. Chandelure dies. Trevenant runs back up. Good Blissey ult. I mean, it wasn't necessary, but it was like, it got him back in the fight. And yeah, from here we just score. Candle auto-targeted his Poltergeist to Blissey, which just allowed me to score 50. Let's see. Anything else happen? Oh, this is annoying. He KOs this guy, but then as he's starting to spawn home, he stops, grabs 2 5s, and then spawns home. Doesn't make a difference in the end of the game, but if it had been like 1 second later, it could have made a major difference. I mean, their Inteleon was definitely making a difference, despite his low damage. Trevenant did a great job of zoning our Umbreon so that Inteleon could score. It's just we got lucky with the respawn timers. Yeah, this game was a shutout. We had much more KOs too. Me and Mimikyu were just carrying the KOs. Like you can see, we're running only 2 heavy damage dealers really. We're just focused on positioning and like manipulating their team with Pokemon like Umbreon and Blastoise, and then supporting our team and keeping us alive with Blissey. They are focused on being aggressive. Like they use Trevenant to keep them back. They use Inteleon to deal damage, Mewtwo to just dive in there, Machamp to just dive in there. Like that's all they did. All right. Let's get to the next one. Same bands for the same reasons. Here we actually pick Dragapult because we're thinking they might be catching on to how strong Dragapult is. Probably should have, like, if I'm looking back on this, we probably should have banned something like Mimikyu and grabbed Glaceon and then grabbed Umbreon afterwards because they were not using Umbreon at all. This game was actually pretty crazy. So right here, when they pick Buzzwole, that tells us we have to play Clefable because Clefable counters Play Rough and Shadow Sneak, and it also counters all but one of Buzzwole's moves, which is Lunge. And we just run Blastoise again. Just because Blastoise is good. We just like Blastoise. So this is actually our exact same team from the first game. Very different team for them, though. All right. Anything interesting happened in the early game? Okay, yeah, there's some weird stacking decisions here. So he has no stacks here. He gets a KO on Mewtwo. Great. Then continues to push on his goal zone and tries to score a 15 against a Ninetales. Craziness. Actually hurt my brain. Yeah, and then that's all stolen from them. Please don't dash onto him. Like hoping he doesn't do the wrong thing. All right, cool. Definitely should have grabbed a berry here. Yeah, just let Clefable have all of that, just so he can hit his level 4 without any XP share. Surprised he survived that. Like, there was no reason for him to survive that. If he had taken a berry, easy survive. But yeah, that was scary. A thing I see a lot of people do, because there's a downtime period basically at the 9-minute mark. I'm not going to go all the way back to it, but 9-minute mark, when you've taken this at 9:15, and this will spawn, the little ball toy back here will spawn at 9. So you're kind of just waiting for 15 seconds for any farm to spawn, and a lot of people will try to push onto the goal zone. By that point, you either don't have any points because you've been KO'd, or you have like 15 points, which is it's too much to score. So it's actually something our top lane did a couple times, where they just pushed when they didn't really need to. Mid Bees pops up, not Mid Bees, Mid Birds, and we sent our all rounder, attacker, and support there. They only sent their carry, which made it really easy. This is insane. Jumps onto their goal zone, all alone, level 6 and level 5, with 30 points. There's nothing you can gain from this situation. Like, no matter how much zoning you do, you're not going to kill a Ninetales, especially on their goal zone. We kind of left our Clefable. They just got ganged up on by the Mimikyu. I rotated bottom again. I think we just hard fought bottom. Yeah, we were just going after that Buzzwole. Yeah, here, nothing you can do. Like, look at that damage. There's just... But this did mean they had a weaker bottom. We didn't break their goal zone like they did top, because they kind of snowballed that game from a lot of weird pushes from our team. Yeah, here we've got Umbreon and Clefable zoning them. Clefable just drops a gravity, and their 2 carries can't jump in. I don't think he has gravity at this point because he's not level 7. We got our Blastoise in. Clefable's close. Regieleki getting hit. I think he gets taken here. Oh no, I remember what happens. Yeah, so we're fighting bot. I'm taking my jungle so I can be stronger going down there. But once I get down there, they've already backed up. Zacian and Umbreon did a great job. I understand the eject to get to it sooner, but it's just like, it's so crazy risky. Good surf. Crazy that they let that walk in. Gravity just faded when he used that. That's brutal. Weird Unite. Did not need to use his Unite there to kill me. Like, one basic attack would have done me in. Alright, let's get going. Mimikyu was just shredding our team this game. That's why we banned it and picked it in the 2 previous games. Here, okay, yeah, this is not a great play from Blastoise. I mean, I'm just ripping into Blastoise because we see his POV. But here, perfect Unite situation. Should have hopped on into this area, because you can see they kind of move into there, and should have united there. He unites later when only Slow-Ro is there, which gives him like no value. We don't kill the Mimikyu here, which is so annoying. He actually picks a kill on our Clefable. Yeah, they just start ripping us. Mimikyu can just snowball a game so easily. And then he... Oh, man. That's brutal. I'm full now. Let's see. Yeah, here, Blastoise should have gone bottom. 100%. They're all 5 down here. He looked with his camera. You can see Ninetales, Mimikyu, Buzzwole, Slowbro, Mewtwo. No one is top. Definitely should have come bottom. We still have a goal zone down here. There's no reason to be up here, especially as a Surf Blastoise. You have no rip. If you're playing Rapid Spin, maybe. But in this situation, and look, our HP is just getting deleted because it's a 5v4. And they just got the Regirock buff. Yeah. And now they're much harder to kill. And it's just, yeah, it's game over for bot lane at that point. I think I still escape. I have crazy. Dragapult has way too good of survivability. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this is just terrible. None of the primary rippers are there. And I remember telling them, like, back off of Regilucky. Wait, like, we don't want to be attacking it right now. I think I gave Zacian the red buff. No, he didn't take it. Yeah, this is just, I mean, they got up here really late. It took them a long time to get to top lane. Good Unite. Definitely should have surfed Ninetales here. Ninetales ult came up just a little late because of the Blastoise ult stunning him. But you ult, and then you immediately aim surf towards the Ninetales. But he just clicked it, and it auto-aimed to Regilucky. Or maybe he did auto-aim it there. I don't know. Look at that chip damage. Getting a kill on that. Mimikyu came from behind and got me. I think he ulted for me too. I'm not sure though. Zacian was doing great. And then I think Mimikyu actually kills both of them here. Because Zacian was kind of low. Oh, he just escapes. We're looking for a score here, but they're all spawning back. And yeah, Umbreon dies for looking for it. I think they're in their jungle right now. You can see me attacking top farm. Yeah, at this point, once the timer showed up, you can see the Zacian slowly back away. He knew he didn't need to fight that. I'm level 13. I probably should have given Blastoise that farm for level 12. But it is blue buff, so I think I stole some of Umbreon's farm there. Oh yeah, this is a moment that is a YouTube short for Blastoise. Right there. He gets lunged, Mewtwo ulted, Buzzwole ulted, Slowbro scalded, Mimikyu shadow sneaked, and Ninetales, both moves used on him. Insta-death. And then from there, we had no pushback. We couldn't like push them away from our team. So then they could just pounce. You see the Mimikyu pounces on me with his ult. Great move from Zacian to get those kills. He took out both of their carries. But they still rip into it crazy fast here. Like you can see how fast that was. That's so rough. It's like 1 second. Great zoning though. Like great surf, great hydro pump. Not losing like any hope here is great. And I knew they were going top here because they pushed them and I was watching their camera and I saw Ninetales and Slowbro walk up. So immediately I Phantom Forced, Shadow Balled, and United and just killed the Ninetales, deleted Slowbro shield instantly. And then these two did a great job of zoning them. And now, at this point, since we've deleted 3 shields they got, we're looking for the 1 minute mark to see if we're in the lead. Once that comes up, we're struggling to keep up. We know we need to score goals. So now this is when I rotate bottom. Because I wasn't sure if I needed to defend or not. Zacian is still defending. At this point, I don't think he should have been. Yeah, here, Mewtwo messed up. Mewtwo was holding down its basic attack. I will bet you $1 million he was just holding down his basic attack. And I don't think he realizes, but he probably has his setting turned on to target the lowest HP target. And that is Blastoise here. And lowest in percentage wise, not in actual HP wise, because that would be me then. So he's attacking Blastoise, which allows our Umbreon to score. If he had stopped basic attacking, walked up to Umbreon and hit it with one move, then he would have stopped the score, and we would have lost. Yeah, and then that's just the game from there. Umbreon survived for way too long, and then we won. So these games were really close, and this taught us that like we were not we were not invincible. Let's look at the KOs. A bunch of KOs on their side, and like 14 KOs on our side. We got one more than one of their characters did, but we won the fights that mattered. They won all the small fights along the way, and I mean, some of our characters were still level 12 by the time the game ended. But by having a level 15 Dragapult and level 14 Zacian, we just won the game. They had 2 level 15s and all level 13s. It was like such a level difference. That shows you that like levels are not everything. If you can have like if the players know what they're doing, if they can be in the right place at the right time, position themselves well, they know how to handle different situations, they can win a game that they should be losing. Yeah, that's it. So we beat Springfield 3-0 in the Swiss. I think the next game I'm going to do is the Liberty one during the like finals bracket. That was, I think, semifinals. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one to break down. That was also just like one of the only other games that gave us a challenge other than the grand finals. Grand finals is like an hour-long video, so that one's gonna take a while to record. All right.